Okay. Latifa, you want to take the night to do? Yeah, there's only one Latifa here. Don't look around.
Moses said, come to you with the found earth, yet you idolize the calf in his absence and turn wicked. Can we continue on there? He made a covenant with you. As we raise Mount Sinai above you, you shall strongly uphold the commandments we gave you and prophets. They said, we heard, but we will not obey. Their hearts were filled with adoration for the calf. As a consequence of their disbelief, say, miserable indeed is what your condition dictates upon you. If you do have any conviction, say, if the hereafter is reserved and you alone as God, to the exclusion of all others, then you should long for that if you are tricky. They will never long for it because of what their hands have committed. God is fully aware of the wicked. In fact, you will find them the most pervaders of life, even more so than the pagans. The one of them wishes to live 1,000 years, so this will never spare him the retribution. Should he survive, God sees everything he does. Okay, you want me to read that now?
Yeah, please.
Okay, my understanding here from 92 to 96, though it really is self-explanatory, the commandments that Allah gave to Moses is telling the people to obey the commandments. But yet there were some who disobeyed, and yet they feel that what they themselves had created, like water the religion down to 50 people, they feel that this here would still get them into heaven. And then they covered up saying, well, it's okay, God says it's okay. And yet they got so many followers. Of course, all this is what Satan's trickeries and stuff. But the man or people themselves that fell into this trick. And a lot of them, like the Christians or whatever, they idolize Jesus Christ and other prophets and saints. And so forth, thinking that they're going to get into heaven. But they're not going to get into heaven. They're putting closer to hell. Because this is what God wanted them to do. And also, we saying that if they are faithful, like if one of us was to talk to them and how they deny when we are about this, then if we talk to them and if they are really truthful, we're supposed to tell them, well, then you show us proof or something and let us know that what you're saying is the real. We have to show us your proof. And so you can also let them know too, and then you can see it, because if they was really truthful, they would long for that. But they don't. They want to live forever and forever. They think they're silver and they're gold and they buying castles in the good hills and gold hills instead of keep them safe and away from God. Whereas it's not. And like us, the true Muslims or whoever, inshallah. But we long for that, because we know that appointment day is coming. And we know right now that we have the truth, but yet we didn't dare tell nobody else that they're doing is going to hell, even though we know we got the truth, and this is the perfect religion. But yet they water it down for the people. And it's just the people need to be, give excuses to and so forth. And they hide from man, and they try not to hide from God. So that's my understanding.
Well, that's beautiful. You're touching a very important point of proof. When people come to you and say anything, make a statement, Jesus is the Son of God. Say, why do you say that? You have proof? Are you sure? If you prove it to me, I'll be glad to believe it. But the difference is that we have proof. That's a big difference.
And then too, like how you said though, a lot of times, because I try to do God as much as possible, and even more than that. But then when I talk to people, I find that a lot of times they do try to not believe. They say, oh, right. But a lot of times that spirit, it gets decided, because I know it's not my people talking, but
Exactly.
it be something, one of the angels that take over and talk to you. But when I've been hearing in the way and in the way of those things. It's supposed to be for that person to be serious. And so therefore, when I, when it's being related to them, they go, wow, yeah, and I was seeing a lot of people, this spirit that comes to me, and seen a lot of people cry. And then when it comes down to, okay, I'm back to my people, hey, what you gonna do, now it's an error. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, that point you pointed out, just because it's in Arabic, they wrong in the soul. Everything else is perfect, but beautiful, and humble about all of it. Then it's Arabic, I can't do it. Then they go ahead on, and alhamdulillah, because I done got my blessings to do it,
Well, you did your job, yeah? And then God knows if they deserve to be guided or not.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Inga, let's take 97.
Say, anyone who opposes Gabriel should know that he revealed this scripture into your heart from God's permission, confirming previous scriptures and providing guidance and good news to the believers. Anyone who opposes God, his angels, his messengers, Gabriel and Michael, should know that God opposes the disbelievers. We have revealed to you profound revelations, and only the wicked will disbelieve therein. Is it not a fact that whenever they made a covenant, some of them would violate it? Indeed, most of them do not believe. And when a messenger came to them from God, confirming their own scripture, some of those who follow previous scripture disregarded this new scripture as if they did not know.
So that's an important piece of information.
Why do I feel like I just... I guess I don't understand what the distinction with the whole Gabriel thing. Because to me, Gabriel means, Christ the name.
Gabriel? Gabriel, you know who Gabriel is?
Yeah, he came to Mary.
Right.
Told her of becoming a child.
Right.
She has a child.
Right.
Maybe people didn't believe that he really was seeing Gabriel telling them all that because he was
Yeah, Gabriel.
Okay, so this tells us that Gabriel's function is to mediate the revelations between God and the messenger. And this happened since Adam. He's the one who carried the revelations to Adam, to Noah, to Mary, to Jesus, to Moses, to Muhammad. Well, God spoke directly with Moses. But there were instances where Gabriel also mediated revelation.
Gabriel also
This is his job.
I was just like to add, say that it may be a revelation, I believe, but Gabriel took Hebrew place there, right?
Well, no, not necessarily. No.
Can you repeat that one?
No, I was saying like, okay, like how you said that, like Jesus, like it's the archangel, okay, if he, he became a father.
But there were many archangels. Also, Satan was kicked out before the revelation, before the human beings were on earth. Right? So that was not one of his functions.
Okay, it was just that my understanding only went as far as that I was thinking that Hebrews was like the only God.
No. There was many.
There was plenty of them.
Probably millions, billions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did the angels then reveal the scripture on their own initiative, or was it like an order from God, or was
It's an order. It's an order from God, and he just transmitted because it's one of the transmission methods that you mentioned in the Quran. So Moses is the only one that God spoke to. I mean, the only one recorded in Quran anyway. But these are the words of God. The Quran are the words of God, and Gabriel is told to go and put them in Muhammad's heart, release them actually from Muhammad's heart. Because Muhammad was summoned to the highest horizon, and the Quran was in his heart. Like you and I, everybody, each one of us has in his heart or her heart the knowledge that God is the Master, the Lord of the universe. We all met God, all of us, before we were born. But because of this body, we don't remember it. And in the same way, Muhammad had the Quran in his heart, exactly in the same way. But he needed Gabriel to come and release it through his mouth, from inside. So if that knowledge that you have about meeting God needs to come to the surface, you need the help of an angel. Or you need to die, get rid of the body. So Gabriel was just transmitting the words of God, orders from God, letter by letter.
Why did you say what you said about
Because the body obscures that knowledge.
or were you
Do you remember your meeting with God? the initial one,
No.
before the creation of the heavens and the earth, where God said, do you bear witness, I am the Lord of the universe? And we said, we bear witness that you are the Lord of the universe. And God said, now you cannot claim on the day of judgment that you never heard of me. That's in Surah 7. So, but we don't remember that because of this body. And the Quran was in Muhammad's heart in the same way. So Gabriel's function was to release the Quran. So what you just read in there is a piece of information telling us that Gabriel mediated the release of Quran.
But you know, what is this? That we take an oath of you like when you talk to other people.
That would be angels, yeah.
Okay.
Also
Would it
angels.
be the two on one lines or?
Not necessarily, there are lots of angels.
Okay.
We have a whole bunch of angels with us, each one of us. We have God.
But that's what I'm saying, would it be mine, or would it be like, you know, the other people, or?
Oh, they do all kinds of things. They'll wake you up for Fajr prayer, don't they?
Mm-hmm. You know.
They will do all kinds of things when they really get familiar with you. They pinch you to wake you up. I mean pinch. They push you off the bed sometimes. They will speak to you. They'll knock on your door. Shaking her head. They knock on Fatima's door. When she gets out of bed, opens the door, there's nobody there. But it's time for Fajr prayer. They'll speak to you. They did it to me once. I was sleeping in bed and I always sleep with the radio next to me. I always like to hear the radio. And then the Fajr came and I got up very sleepy and very tired. I was really especially tired that night. So after I stood up next to bed, I said, oh, well, I'm going to sleep again for maybe a half hour. So just as I was going to sit down, in an Egyptian accent, as purely Egyptian, the word was Ewa, means don't you. Where is Baroni? Did you know that? Ewa.
No, what are you playing
The
at?
don't you. You know, I really warned him. So I looked around, you know. Then I thought maybe the radio was on. Just saying one word, but it was off. It was very clear, loud and clear. Don't you go back to sleep. You can imagine what happened after that. And whenever they do it, you're never afraid, you're never scared. They're very nice. Doesn't matter what they do, you're never scared. It is never a frightening experience. If anything, it's an exalting experience. I'm sure quite a few of you somehow open up their eyes just before sunrise. And they're given the impression this is the time to pray morning. And that's, agents do that. We go to Surah 13, this will talk about this subject. 13. I give you the verse number, right? I know it's here.
What topic
What the angel, huh?
And the angel?
Yeah, the angel stick there and
You're talking about Sura 14, ayah 11?
is it 11?
Well, it's something about
Right, there we go. Yeah, verse 11. Each of you, that's you and me, each of you has a succession of angels in front of you and behind you, who guard you in accordance with God's decision. Now that's so you have angels around you who make sure that nothing happens to you except exactly what is to happen to you. It is just amazing. What is supposed to happen to you has to happen. There is nothing. It all depends on your decision and what you do. And I have to tell you this story. Because it shows you exactly how the example is. I had a friend we were talking about marijuana. Marijuana. I don't know what brought the subject up. Oh, I was walking down the alley there and I saw a high school kid at the corner there. He was smoking and marijuana smoking, and I smelled it. It's not cigarettes. So I came, not that way. I didn't sniff that hard. So I mentioned to my friend that smells nice. And the friend said, yeah, that stuff is good. Or something to that effect. So I said, well, expect a pinch. I said, God doesn't like it. He said, intoxicants are haram, are prohibited. And if God doesn't like it, we're not supposed to like it, or even praise it, or say anything nice about it. So you have to expect a pinch. And I felt like preaching, a big lesson about this subject, but I held back. So that was it was a mistake on my part. I felt that I was not doing justice to the subject, what I really should have. Now, then that same day, the two of us, same two people, were starting a heater in one of the apartments, a furnace. And I was lighting the pilot. The pilot was not lighting, but all of a sudden, I heard the hissing of the gas. The hissing of the gas came in. Now, I'm not boasting, but I'm not really dumb, I know that if I strike a match with the gas, there's going to be an explosion. But it was as if I was completely hypnotized. Yeah, and I flicked my pick anyway.